football players that kept the same skills, the same play, the same everything. And there are players who became from bad to worse. And there are some football players also who becomes from the best to the worst. So, in this video, I'm gonna tell you some of these players. 5 from each section. There are 3 sections, which is the worst, which is called like from the best to the worst, from the worst to the best, and the last one is the same. So each section is gonna have 5 players. Right? Are you ready for this video? Like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like this video. And see, let's start right now in our list, which is from worst to the best. Alright? We have 5 players from each section, from each list. Alright, let's start from the first player, who is gonna be Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham plays so much seasons with Borussia Dortmund, but the last season, 2023, fans become bored from him, and his skills becomes less, and his talent becomes worse. But he still is a young player. So Real Madrid buys him at 2024 season. And then Jude Bellingham becomes one of the best midfielders in Real Madrid's seasons. And he wins the Champions League, and he got in the final match of the Euro, and he becomes he's number 3 in the Ballon d'Or 2024. He was the 3rd, and he did so much things with Real Madrid, and he scored so much goals, and he did so much things in La Liga. So this is one of our players. Right now, let's move to the second player. Second player is Antony. Yeah, Antony. In 2023 or 24, yeah, both, yeah. He was in Manchester United, and he was one of the worst players in the world. And United wanted to buy him, but Real Betis wanted to try Antony if he can play better in their club. Maybe Manchester United club is bad, or not bad, like not the best thing in the gym or something like this. So Real Betis get him for a loan for 1 season, and Antony scored so much goals in La Liga, which was the last season. And right now, Real Betis buys Antony, and he stills with them. And he scores so much free kicks, and he scores so much goals, and his talent becomes better and better. So he becomes from worst to the best. Let's move to the third player. The third player in our list is going to be Cole Palmer. Yes, Cole Palmer. In 2023, Cole Palmer was playing in Manchester City. He was living in not living. He was playing with the younger boys in Manchester City. So he becomes from the first team, which is the real Manchester City, and he plays. And his talent wasn't the best thing, and players like Ederson and Guardiola and the people in Manchester City becomes hated him. Well, because his talent wasn't the best thing, and everybody hated him. Manchester City fans didn't like. They became bored from him. He's not doing anything in City and not doing anything. But Chelsea buys Cole Palmer, and suddenly Cole Palmer becomes one of the best players in the Premier League. Until now, he becomes one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And he scored so much goals with Chelsea, and he just made his revenge versus Manchester City. And also, he becomes at the final match of the Euro, which I said Bellingham also. Bellingham is from England, and Cole Palmer is also from England, and they became from the final of Euro, but they lost. And he did so much cool things, and such a good talent, and his talent and skills becomes better. This is our third player, and let's move to the fourth player, which is going to be Ousmane Dembele, the French football player. In 2023 and the before years, which is 2022 and 21 and 2020 and these years, he was playing for Barcelona, and he was injured in any match, but he was scoring a few number of goals, but his talent wasn't bad. But every match he goes to the hospital and he's injured. So Barcelona fans became hated him, and why he's injured for every these matches, or why he's injured for all these matches, and so 2024 season comes, and PSG wanted to buy him for a try. They bought Ousmane Dembele, and suddenly he becomes better and better, and he becomes the best, and he becomes one of the best players in France and in everything. He scored a lot of goals. He won so much French league titles. He wins the Champions League. He wins the Ballon d'Or. He wins everything. Not everything. Yeah, he wins the World Cup also, but he was with Barcelona also. But he wasn't at the lineups, but he wins the World Cup also. So he becomes one of the best players till now, and this is why Ousmane Dembele is in this list. Let's move for the next player, which is going to be the fifth and the last player. Last but not least, he is Rafinha. Yeah. In 2023, Barcelona needs a left wing or a right wing or a wing. So they bought Rafinha from Leeds United, and he stays and his talent wasn't the best thing, but he was good. Wasn't the best thing, and he continues playing with Barca until 2025 season comes. Xavi was the manager for Barca's team, and he just didn't become the manager, and Barcelona buys Hansi Flick. So Hansi Flick makes Rafinha from the worst to the best. He becomes one of the best players till now, and he is one of the best players in La Liga. And he becomes scoring a lot of goals, and also he wins the La Liga, and he did so much things. He wins the Super Cup 2 times, and he not two, 3 times, and which is 2023, 2025, 2026. I made a video on it. He went the Super Spanish Cup 3 times, and the video was at the 3rd time. Alright, and that was it. He did so much assists, and he was the 5th on the Ballon d'Or list. I don't know why. He must be the 2nd, because he did a huge, massive talent and skills, and scored so much goals and made so much assists. Yes, I am a Madrid fan, but Rafinha is one of the best players, and he becomes one of the best players in the world in these years. So we finished the first section. Let's move to the next section. Take a break 5 seconds, and let's go to the next section. Let's start for the second list, which is from the best to the worst. And our first player is Casemiro. Yeah. In 2020-22, he was playing for Real Madrid, and he left them. And Manchester United signed with Casemiro, and he did a good work. But in 2024 and 25, he becomes less talent, less assists. But he is a midfielder, but less assists. And he becomes from the best to the worst, and he didn't win anything, only that one title in England. I missed his name, but he wins it. And this was only Casemiro's story, but if he stays in Real Madrid, he will become better and better. Yeah. Let's move to the next player, which is Jadon Sancho. Sancho was, in 2023, one of the worst players. He was worst players. He was playing with Manchester United. He didn't make any single thing with them. And in 2024, Borussia Dortmund takes him from a loan, and he becomes better and better. But 2025 he returns. Then he went to Aston Villa, and he wasn't. Still now he is not the best thing, and his talent becomes less and worse, and he backs with the old worst talent in 2023. He is right now less goals, less assists, and these things. And this is Sancho's story. But he becomes, in 2004, he becomes the 2024 final, which was versus Real Madrid, and Real Madrid won. Yeah. Let's move to the third player, which is going to be let me remember. What was the player? He was one of the best players, but he becomes worst. Yep, I remember. Eden Hazard. In 2017 and 16 and 18 and 19 and these years till 2021, he was playing for Chelsea, and he was scoring so much goals and making so much assists, and fighting for the Ballon d'Or award, and in 2018 he just made Belgium a strong national team in the World Cup, and that all happens from him. So, 2021, Real Madrid wanted to buy him, and all Barcelona fans start crying and being angry and these things, and Hazard becomes not the best. His talent becomes one of the worst talents. He's never been like this talent before. Less goals, less talent, assists, and less everything. But he wins the Champions League in 2022, and in 2024 he left Real Madrid and he retired. And that was the third player. Let's move to the fourth player, which is Yourian Sané. Okay, Yourian Sané was playing for Manchester City in 2019, I think. Then FC Bayern buys him, and he continues his football career, and he becomes better and better until in 2025, I think, or 26. He went to Galatasaray, and he stays here, and his goals becomes less, assist less. The talent becomes worse and worse, and everything becomes worse than he thought before, and everything becomes worse than he thought. So he becomes one of the worst players, but not the worst one. One of the worst players. Let's move for the fifth player, which is gonna shock you, but yes, he's one of the worst players. He was from the best to the worst. I'm talking about a Brazilian footballer. You're thinking about Neymar? Not Neymar. This Brazilian footballer is Vinicius Junior. Yeah. In 2019, Vinicius signed with Real Madrid and from Flamengo. He signs with Real Madrid, and his playing was worse than any player. But in 2022, he becomes one of the best players. From 2022 to 2024, he was at the peak, the prime Vinicius at 2024. But suddenly in 2025, he became one of the worst players. He never scored goals again. His goals are few and assists are few. And till now, 2026 season, he becomes also worse and worse. But he scores a goal versus Barcelona in this final Super Cup. Yeah, but that's from a long time ago. Yeah, then he is back from scoring goals. And that was Vinicius' story. He was one of the worst players. Yep. Let's move to the last list, and the video is gonna end on this list. See you at the last. Let's move to the third list and last list. Let's start from the first player, which is Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich in 2026, 2025, and 2024, and 23, 22, 21, and 20, and these years he stays at Bayern Munich, and he kept on his talent and skills and never been changed to the worst. and he's one of the best midfielders in the Bundesliga. Also, he plays right back, and is one of the best right backs in the Bundesliga and in Germany actually. And this is our first player, and Joshua Kimmich never been changed until now. He is playing good. Let's move to the second player. Our second player, which is going to be Thibaut Courtois. Yes, Thibaut Courtois. Thibaut Courtois in 2014 was playing for Atletico Madrid. He was like normal. He wasn't the worst thing, wasn't the bad thing. But he goes to Chelsea and he becomes better and better. Then he goes to Real Madrid and becomes the best goalkeeper in Real Madrid till now. He becomes one of the best goalkeepers in history and in football, all of it. And his talent and skills never changed. In 2024, he never changed. Yes, he was injured for a lot of months, but he played the final Champions League and he did his job. And also, in 2025, it was a bad season for Real Madrid, but he was playing good. Wasn't the worst thing, actually. And in 2026 also, he, right till now, playing good and not the worst thing. The goals that entered his the goals that entered his goal is just from the defenders, like such as Rafinha's goal not yesterday at the final Spanish Super Cup, the third goal. It just gets on Asensio's leg, so that's why they scored the third, not from Courtois. Courtois goes to the place where the ball is coming through, but Asensio's leg pushes the ball into up the goal. And this is our second player. Let's move to the third player, which is going to be let me think. We said Kimmich and Thibaut Courtois, and there is let me think a little bit. Hold on, wait. You're gonna wait so much, so after I think, I will give you the answer. Alright, I remember the third player, which is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Yes. Bruno Fernandes in 2019 was playing for Sporting Lisbona, and the coming years, Manchester United is by him because he was too young, and his talent wasn't the bad thing. He was good, and he plays for Manchester United for so much seasons, and till now he didn't made a bad season anymore. So this is why Bruno Fernandes didn't change, and he's kept on his talent and skills and everything. Let's move to the fourth player, which is going to be a defender who plays for Liverpool. I'm talking about Van Dijk. Yes, Van Dijk is the fourth player because his defending is not bad. He is not from the worst players. He is from the best defenders in history and best defenders in the football actually. And these days, and he never ever get a wrong thing or a wrong decision. He stays at Liverpool for so much reasons. Also, he's 33 years old. He's big a little bit. His age is big, but he not matters him. Like he's like Kimmich. Kimmich is 31, I think, and he don't matter. Thibaut Courtois is 34, I think, and not matters. And this is what was our third player? What was our third player? Let me remember. Kimmich, Thibaut Courtois, Van Dijk, and who? I've missed two. No matter. Oh yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Also, Bruno Fernandes, I think he's 27. Not too big, but he's good actually. Let's move to the last player in our list, which is going to be Thibaut. No, Thibaut Courtois, he said it. Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, the French player, he stays at the same talent and skills and goals and assists. Also, he changed his club. He was at PSG. He was good stats and goals and assists and great thing. And he moves to Real Madrid at the 2025 season, which was the worst season for Real Madrid. But he won the Golden Boot on Gyökeres and other strikers, and he scored so much goals and made so much assists. And also in 2026 he continues, and he did so much things. Till now he's not that worst player. So this is the end of our video. Hope you like it. Leave a comment if you like it, and I want to try to get 700 subscribers. I want to get 700 subscribers and get 1000 before the year ends, because it's too hard, like on a teen, to do that. Like in this year I will be a teenager and these things, so studying will be hard and these things, so it's gonna be hard on me. So I hope we end it on the last before 2027 comes. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.